What's up? What's up, blue collar millionaires? Hope all is well today, guys. This is going to be a quick one today, but I hope it adds a lot of value. My goal is 5 minutes. We're going to get in and out in 5 minutes. So, one thing that's really important, I think, as you're starting to grow your business is to understand how Google and social media actually work. How do they actually function, right? Think about this, guys. A lot of you guys are contractors, home service people, right? If you're a plumber or a roofer, anyone else in the world looks at a roof and they're like, man, how does this thing work? How do you put on? I could never do that. But you and I all of us know how simple it actually is once you learn how it operates, once you learn how it functions. And so 5 minutes, I'm going to just tell you guys how it works in a way that I think every freaking person in here will understand. All right. I got a 2.1 GPA in college. If I understand this stuff, guys, you can. I promise. My grandma can understand the way we're going to explain it. So, those of you that don't know, my name is JC. I run Height. We're an Inc. 5000 marketing agency. We work with all kinds of clients and a ton of folks in this room. And so, been doing marketing for about 10 years now. Worked for two agencies. Was a minor owner in one, and then the main owner in the other one. So, with that being said, let's jump right in. So, guys, Google, we're going to talk about Google first. And if you don't understand how Google works, this is so freaking critical because this is where people search. This is where people are going to find you. No one goes to Instagram or to Facebook to find a roofer, even though might get targeted. They go to Google. It's just how the world operates today. So how does it function? Google actually operates identically to how human beings work. All right, this is gonna be so simple. They work identical to how human beings work. So, Chris, you and I we were in college together. We'll say there's two ways to get to the party, right? To get invited to the party. There's only two ways to get invited to the party. One is, what's one way? To get
Uh,
invited to the cool kids party.
to be a friend of one of the
Yeah.
party invites.
One way is that you got trust. People know you, they understand you, they like you, all this good stuff. And what's the other way? If you can afford the alcohol. It doesn't matter how goofy, dorky, whatever you are. If you can afford the beer, you're invited to the party. Hands down, right? Hands down. Google operates the same way. There's only two ways to be on page one of Google. One, I can afford to pay to play. Guys, you don't even have to be good at roofing, good at plumbing. You could suck at your work, to be frank. You could even have a mediocre website. But if you're willing to write the check, you can be on top of Google. That's easy. Now, the other way is know, like, and trust. And Google operates the same freaking way. You see, even within know, like, and trust, there's two variables that operate. One is what other people say about you, and the other one is what you say about yourself. This isn't rocket science. So, what do other people say about you? So, I'm thinking about inviting Kevin to my party. He ain't got no money. And so, we're just going to invite him based on know, like, and trust. So, I'm looking at what do other people say about him? In Google, this is referred to as links. So, how often are people tweeting about this guy, or Facebook mentions, or blogs are mentioning, or a press release is mentioning, or other people in your community talking about you online? Every time someone talks, that's the same thing with me. Like, man, I don't know this Kevin guy, but gosh, every time I turn around, someone is talking about him. But it's not just about how many times, it's the quality as well, right? So if I don't know, if John Maxwell or the president of the United States said, dude, you should talk to JC, you're going to be like, yeah, of course, let me go talk to him, right? The president said you should. Now, if my mom says you should talk to JC, okay, that's still good. That's still good. But it's the same thing with Google again. So all of these different links is about what else and what all is talking about you. And so if you want to build trust with Google, because Google has one purpose, and that is to put the people they trust the most on page one. Every time someone goes to page two, Google's like, crap, I didn't give them what they wanted. I didn't give them exactly what they were searching for. So we're talking about building trust with Google. So step number one is, what do other people say? Guys, if you get links, this is positive. If you get consistent links, it's even more positive. If you get consistent links from major players in your community, .gov website, the city website that you might have, any of those type of links, it's more powerful. Guys, if you hire an SEO company, this is what they're doing. They're going out and getting press releases. They're going out and writing articles. They're going out and making mentions or putting you directories and all this stuff. It's all links back to you, but that's not all. It doesn't matter if President Obama or Donald Trump said you should go talk to Kevin. That's irrelevant. If I go talk to Kevin, I'm like, this guy's a freaking idiot. Now, I may stay a little bit longer, but I'm about to leave. And so this is what your website says. So it's the same style as relationships. When someone goes to your website, how long are they engaged in conversation? Right? So if I go and I have a chat with Kevin because whoever has been talking about him, and I am so bored with the conversation that in 30 seconds I leave, Google sees that. But if I'm like, man, this is really cool content, let me go click here, let me go click here, let me engage, let me stay on this. This is a good thing, right? It's also how much content do I have? So if I've got Bob over here with 5 pages of content on roofing in Little Rock, Arkansas, but I've got George over here with 1,000 pages of content on roofing in Little Rock, Arkansas. Who do I perceive understands more? The guy who has more content, right? And so there's 2 ways you build trust with Google. It's what other people say and what you say. Speed, beauty, how long do people stay? How long do people engage? How long do people click through the calls? Google measures all this. And every single thing we do in SEO boils down to one of those 2 things. Everything. You guys can do this. So I mentioned, I think last week in the call, a little trick. If you want to do good SEO on your own, if you got a collaborative of 10 other home service businesses in your area, and just every week you wrote articles about each other in rotation, Google's going to see that. Wow, every week someone's talking about my roofing company. Consistent, local, easygoing. This is something affordable that you can do, right? Okay, make sense? I don't know, it's pretty easy. That's how Google operates. Every company's doing it. Okay, so the next question I get asked all the time is speed. Well, GC, I'm going to invest in SEO or I'm going to do it myself. How long is that going to take? The reality is that this is almost like saying, hey, Chris, I want to be the strongest guy in my gym. Chris, what do I need to do to be the strongest guy in my gym? The first question you're going to ask is, well, what kind of gym do you go to? Are we talking about like a women's fitness? Are we talking about a Planet Fitness? Are we talking about like a Hulk Hogan, whatever? You see, rankings has nothing to do with, or is not just about you. It's a multiplayer sport. It's how you do in comparison to everyone else. So if I'm in Searcy, Arkansas, population 22,000, where there's 7 roofers trying to be on page 1, there's 10 spots on page 1. I got a good chance. I could probably get there pretty quick. But if I'm in Dallas, where there's 150 roofers all doing SEO, guess what? There's still only 10 spots on page 1. Now that Google's changed their format a little bit, maybe there's technically more, but there's 10 spots at the top, right? And so when we talk about speed, I almost think of this like the interstate. Okay, so I'm going to give you one more example. We're going to social. One more, whatever it's called, and we're gonna go on to social. Think of like speed on the interstate. So if I'm jumping on the interstate, think of each interstate as like a keyword. I want to rank for Little Rock roofing, or I want to rank for commercial roofing. And you look in front of it and you see that car way in front of you. You're like, man, I want to pass that car. Can you tell how fast they're going? No, it's impossible. Like there's no way for me to tell what all Kevin is doing on his home website. No way. Now, I can tell if I'm getting closer, right? And we use that through Search Console, which we're going to discover in maybe another call here. But we can see if we're getting closer. I was on page 5, now on page 4, now on page 3, now on page 2, but you cannot see how speed. Now, with that speed, Google has a certain thing, like certain elements that they want us to do and not do. They don't want you to necessarily buy backlinks. They don't want you to necessarily make up stuff, right? They don't want you to just use AI to create random blog posts to do an automation. They don't want this stuff. But just like the interstate, speed limit 70 miles an hour, we all know we can drive about 78 and nobody cares. So what I like to look at is like there's white hat SEO, which is like by the book. But if we want to go faster, we need to go into that gray hat SEO, 78 miles an hour, where we're trying to get faster. We're going to go more. We're going to do more, but we don't want to go 85. We know that we're just waiting to get into jail, right? And so build trust with Google. 2 things: what you say, what your website says, how it functions, how it operates, and then what other people say. And don't worry about the speed so much unless you're hiring a company and you want to try to start figuring that out. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Pretty easy. I think I went a little long, but forgive me. Social media. This is going to be 60 seconds because it really is simple. Whenever you post on social media, we got to do consistency. Again, Facebook has also one goal in mind. That's to keep people on Facebook. Instagram, keep people on Instagram. So what keeps people on Instagram? Well, when I find a video that I like, I'm like, man, Kevin's content is really good. What do? I go watch more of his videos and I keep going and I keep going and I keep going, right? So Facebook is very interested in engaging content. The more someone watches your video or clicks into your video to go to others, that's what they like. It's that simple. Doesn't matter if we're talking TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, they're all the same right now. They're all the same. So what Facebook, Instagram, social is going to do is they're going to show it to 10, 15 people and they're going to watch. And they're going to watch how your videos compare to other videos in your area, in your target market, in your whatever. If you have a higher than average, what are they going to do? They're going to show you to another 100 people. And if you get higher, they're going to show you to another and then another. And it's going to keep going. If not, they're going to dilute it, right? If people don't engage and don't click through, they're going to dilute it more and more. The problem here, guys, is that we do two things. Number one, we're not doing consistently, right? So I always tell people it's just like anything else in life you want to go do. Fitness, for example. If you want to get good at fitness, if you want to get in shape, step one is just go to the gym. That's it. Guys, just just do it. I don't care what you do. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you lose a pound or whatever, but I guarantee you, if I can get you in the habit of going to the gym, then I can teach you anything I want to do and you will crush into the gym after that, right? Start posting every day, start engaging every day, and then you can move on. So that's how Google and Facebook operate today. And forgive me, we're doing about 10 minutes here. Any questions, thoughts, ideas?
Great advice. Consistency is the key. I've been posting consistently for several years now on social media. And if you looked at when I first started compared to what I look like now and the followers and the engagement, completely different from when I first started. But it took the consistency of me doing it so that people started saying, hey, let me check this out. And then Facebook starts pushing me out further and further.
How long were you posting consistently? Like, what was the growth of Blue Collar? Like, because it shot up all of a sudden. It was like a
Blue
huge...
Collar is about 2 years old now, I believe. And me and Kevin were on there posting consistently for over a year before we started seeing hockey stick growth.
I bet you 90% of the people in this group, 90% came a year after consistency happened. And that's so freaking huge, guys, because it only takes one click and then boom, you go viral, people start honing in, and I mean, it just grows like wildfire, but you got to have that year as well, right? And so, guys, if you can do these two things, right, like we're gonna be talking a lot about how to market, gauge, grow for free, in your local community, but then how to compound that with ads or anything else. But it's compounding where you get the biggest bang for your buck. And great branding is very important.
Yeah. Love it, man. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Hope everyone has a blessed week. See you guys.
See you next week.